He's been helping create this product for months, overseeing. He's done tons of trainings, tons of background, tons of legwork, thousands of handwritten emails, to the point where his knuckles were sore. He's having to type them with his palms. I mean, and so he's doing elbows. And now here we are. It's launched. It's live. They're getting approved, and we're going to get a full deep dive on it today. So without further ado, my name is Grady Polson. We've got the head sales trainer from Ethos on with us live, Marty Evans, and we're going to dig into the brand new Ethos IUL that has been overseen and waited on and is industry leading now. And I'm so excited to have you on, buddy, and for everybody on here to learn more about this product and to get to meet you for those that haven't in the past. So how you doing today, bro?
I am just feeling the love. I'm just all smiles. I got to get myself together to tell y'all stuff because I'm just sitting in this good feeling. I love joining you all, and I love the energy. Even when it's digitally sent, you can feel it. It's real. The love's real.
Love it, bro. I love it. So, well, we know it's probably it was kind of like a whisper leak, right? A sneaky leak, if you will, for like a little bit, and then we expanded, and now it's just full fire hose in the street.
Yes,
right now,
exactly.
dancing with Mexican music in the background, and someone's making tacos, and we're selling IULs. So now we're full street party mode. We're ready to learn more about it, and just to be, and I'm talking to Zach, and Zach's like, how do we get more sales? And I was like, we just have to keep talking about it, because what's cool about FFL is people can come in here, put their heads down, buy their leads, direct their clients the direction they want them to go. I only sell this product. I only sell this whole life. This is my favorite IUL. Then I got my process. Took me a long time to get my process. I was broke for a long time. Now I'm less broke. I'm doing way better. We're going to buy a new house. I don't want to mess too many things up, right? So how do we fit into their sort of, get on their keychain of tools or their tool belt of tools they use? And I'm like, Zach, we just got to keep talking about it. So that's why I'm so excited you're here today. We're going to push this out everywhere once we get it done, but more so just to let them know that Ethos is here, continually innovating and trying to do their best to kind of provide phenomenal products for a phenomenal industry, and in my opinion, the best company that you guys could be partnered with. So
awesome. I love it. Yep. I've got formal material, but I will start off by saying I saw the card before the session, and I was like, well, they have me in the traditional green Ethos hoodie, so I should maybe wear, like, now they've seen that before. And I was like, well, I could switch it up. It's cuffing season. I could go with the black. No, I can't do that either. I'm just going to go Ethos green because I am ready. I'm going to get hot how excited I'm going to get, because not only do we have a wonderful product, we have a lot of incentives that are accompanying the launch, so we can get that water hose just to spray in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through my deck. I would love for everyone to take a quick glimpse in the chat. I'm going to drop in, and we can share this later as well. This is where, if you would like to even follow along with the deck, you can. If you have someone that can't see this and they can't wait until it's published live, you can just go to ethoslife.events/FFLIUL recordings. And that's where, and I'll also show you live what you can see in that Google Drive folder. But I just dropped in both the recording as well as some handy items to help you out if you have questions when you're just getting started. So with no further ado, can I take it away, Grady? Sound good?
Yes, sir. China, you got, is you ready to rumble? She got you. Yeah, you crush it, guys. Lean in, take notes, pay attention. This is how we get better, is we listen to people that know things that we want to learn more about, and focus attention. And then one thing I learned this as you gear up to go, and you may know this because you're incredibly smart, but I learned at this training that taking hand-to-hand notes is the best way to do it, because you're making your brain write ETHOS, and you're telling your brain this is important, versus when you type, your brain doesn't know what you're doing. And it's like when you're actually putting letters to words, to sentences, to paragraphs, you're deeply subliminally putting this memory into your subconscious to be able to recall it later when you need it. So if you're really looking forward to selling more IULs, get out an old-fashioned piece of paper and a pen and just take some notes and go, I'm actually learning this better by handwriting it versus, oh, I'm just like, people are like, I'm recording it. And I'm like, what are you gonna do like with that thing? And then they're like, well, I'm recording it. And I'm like, well, let's just try pen and paper. You know, it worked for Ben Franklin. It'll probably work for us. So, all right, Marty, you're the man. I appreciate you. I'm gonna pipe down, let you.
That's a great point. One last thing I'll add, because I was literally reading a study on the exact same thing 2 days ago. It's also, you will recognize smaller little details, like the ink was a little heavier right here, or you were off the margin. And those are more like hooks your brain can anchor onto when it goes to retrieve that, versus all of the text looking exactly the same because it's just digital. So I'm a big proponent of hand taking notes. And at the convention that I drop into, you'll probably get some of these as well. So you'll get some ethos opportunities to take notes as well. But the most important thing I can start this session off with after thank you is, you need to know, everyone listening to this or watching this later needs to know, this was developed specifically for you. And so this is a tool that isn't something that you can just get on the market. This is something you have to go through Ethos to get. And our relationship with Integrity and FFL is something that is incredibly important to us. And that's why we've spent tens of millions of dollars and months trying to develop exactly what it is that you want, so that we can really catalyze your IUL sales and take them to the next level. And so with that being said, what we're going to do today is we're going to go over just like a high level overview. We're going to specifically, and probably the most important thing, is talk about simply how to sell more IUL with Ethos. I'm going to show you the application flow relative to what you might have grown accustomed to if you're using some leading competitors' offerings. I'm going to show you how to quote and apply. And then finally, I'm going to show you where more resources are so that you can follow along with those after the fact. Now, let's jump on in. So with the Ethos IUL, what we wanted to do is we wanted to, even though we're a technology company, is we wanted to make it possible for you to focus on protecting families, focus on selling, not trying to maneuver hard to configure software. So you'll be able to, in one place, go from start to finish, from quoting to activation, and have multiple different policy configurations all in one spot. This is going to help power that likelihood of making even an IUL sale a one-call close. And that's something that might seem unthinkable. You typically need to set up an appointment, start off a conversation, finish it later. We want to make it a reality that with our roughly 90% decision instantly, that you're going to be able to make that happen. Now, it doesn't mean 90% approval, and I'm going to talk about how you can make sure you're sending the right people through the funnel. But in terms of instant issuance, this is a truly instant product, and we've got great comp, as Grady mentioned, headed your way. That's 100% bonusable, and this is going to be paid the day after the effective date that the policy has attached to it. You're going to be able to cover more clients simply with that higher face amount than many other express products that we consider to be in the competitive space. And we'll also have many riders, no cost riders, that come along with your policies for free. And this is all in conjunction with Emeritus, so a company that's been paying out claims for well over 100 years. So they know what they're doing. They have been around the block. Now, if there's one slide that I'd ask that you just really focus on, and this is a one time where I'll make an exception to what Grady said about hand taking notes. You can whip out your phone, take a picture of this, take a screenshot. This is probably the most important slide that I'm going to go through. And it's simply explaining and articulating how and why with the Ethos IUL, you'll simply be able to sell more IULs. And that's really in 3 categories. The first is it's a quick and easy to use platform. Second is more coverage options relative to what you might be used to. And then finally, unparalleled sales support is what we're looking to bring to you. And so diving in a little more closely, the UX, the user experience for the platform is, as I mentioned, end to end in one spot. You're not having to start your sale in one place, continue it in another, and finish it in another. And so that seamless integration of doing everything you need in one spot is why we've actually seen people write even faster than 15 minutes. But if you've got a 15-minute quote to decision, just do the simple math. If your average takes you 45 minutes and now it can go to 15 minutes, you have the capacity to, triple your business, or at least double your business if you think about the whole time a presentation takes. And you're able to get that illustration while you're actually going through the quoting process on one screen. In terms of more coverage options, the higher face amount means you can protect higher earners. And with risk classes split up into 6 as well as table ratings, we're just able to cover more people, but 2, offer prices that are more fitting for your specific client scenario, rather than just the binary of standard tobacco or not. And then in terms of if you do have a decline, or when you do encounter declines, rather than just end the sale and you have to tell your client, I'm sorry, this just isn't something you're approved for, we actually do automatic rerouting to the TAL, the True Stage Advantage whole life product, which is also an instant issuance. And for those who did not catch my announcement just a few weeks ago, we as Ethos have worked with carriers to increase the comp on that product by 30 points across the board. So wow, that's throughout the hierarchy. That's no matter what level you are, you're just going to get more now than if you wrote it a month ago. And that's something that you can do to keep that sale alive if you do have a client that's declined. And then finally, we've got both agent trainings. I'm just a small tip of the iceberg of all the resources that we have, but there's also client education that we make possible. So you can bring up and just broach the conversation topic of IULs for some that aren't really that comfortable with how to use it, what it is, and they might feel a little overwhelmed. In terms of availability, you can see on the left the coverage amounts up to $1 million, and that scales down over as age increases, but we're able to cover from 20 to 65. We've got the rate classes and the table ratings I mentioned, and then we are going to be in all non-New York states. So we will be in 49, but right now we have just a few that are crossing the final T's and dotting the final I's with state regulators in order to roll it out. I know there's a lot in Florida that we're looking forward to bringing out within the next week or 2. California admittedly takes a bit of time to approve everything, and so that's one that probably won't be in this month, but of course we'll keep you posted as soon as it goes live. I'm in California right now, so of course I'd love to show love to the state, but of course the state makes sure that we jump through all their hoops before we can let it loose, and so we're looking forward to that. I'm just going to go over this product highlight slide, and then I'm going to start answering questions that trickle in. In terms of product highlights, we've got 6 different accounts. We've got 2 indexed to the S&P 500. We've got another S&P and 2 others that make up the 3 volatility controlled accounts. And then we've got a fixed return account as well. I've heard about living benefits being, highly sought after, and that's something we do aim to bring to our core whole and term offerings as well. But for now, the IUL product is the first to hit the scene in the Ethos suite that's got things like an accelerated death benefit, critical, chronic, and terminal illnesses. So we're really excited about that. And then last but not least, you also have the option, it's a paid rider, but you also have the option of extending to your clients the ability to lock in lifetime income in retirement with a simple activation fee. I'm gonna pause here for a second. When we'll be in Florida approximately, shouts to the Sunshine State. My approximate answer is by the end of the month, but it might be a little sooner than that. So very soon. So you can start lining up conversations, and then you'll be able to hit the ground running with that. And then I see one other question. Can one client have multiple IULs? We can't facilitate replacements right now. And if your client has applied, and this is important on the knockout guide, I'll talk about this later. If your client has applied for more than 4 non-Ethos policies in the last 12 months, they will not be approved. So just as a heads up, you want to make sure, Ethos applications they aren't considered, but if they've applied for 5 or any number greater than that, then they won't be approved. So Melissa, you can follow up with me specifically and I can answer your question if there's more that you're looking for to get someone protected, because I love unblocking agents and giving them what they need to get across the finish line. All right, let's see. I got a question in the chat. Oh, this is going to be a good one. I'm going to come to the resource that we have just for you, Landon, to help to answer that. But in terms of pricing, you might be thinking, well, Marty, you've got, it's super fast. You say the user experience is going to be incredible and the screens will look nice, which I will show you to prove that. Are you just going to pass on really high costs to our clients? And the answer is no. It's similar to Grady's question. Are you going to have to pay to get into these autumn sales conferences? The answer is no. We do all that we can with technology to try and cut out costs rigorously so that the prices that your clients are paying are within the ballpark of where leading competitors are. Occasionally, we're a few dollars more. Many times, we're at a lower price than what they offer, but we're very competitive in what we are able to provide, and the experience we will stand by is just unparalleled. Now, in terms of contracting, how do you get contracted? Hopefully, you responded to one of our 18,000 badrillion messages beforehand asking you to get contracted. I was typing with the elbows. I was like, please get contracted, pre-contracted. But if you haven't, not to worry. All you're going to do is you're going to log into your portal. You're going to go to agents.ethoslife.com. So the normal place where you'd go into Ethos, and you're just going to start a quote. And when you start a quote, you'll see the IUL screen. I'm going to show that in a moment. And then once you click through, it will prompt you on exactly how you can get contracted. And so the process, unlike with Ethos whole and term, where you were already contracted with Ethos, and then you can just start selling, and then we do just-in-time appointments with the carriers. With the IUL, you do actually have to be contracted before you can sell it. And we, as I mentioned, give you all of the triggers in the agent portal that will guide you to what you need to do. The one exception is Pennsylvania. You do actually have to be appointed before you can actually complete an app. But with all the other states, you can literally go through the quotes and complete the apps before you get your contracting across the finish line. And so with that being said, I'm going to quickly answer a question that hasn't been asked, but this is something that's really helpful. If you want to know what your compensation is, because we at Ethos don't set your comp, we just follow whatever we receive. You just go into your portal that Grady dropped in, and you're just going to go over on the left to earnings, and you'll see earnings, and just click over on your commission rates, and that's where you can see your commission schedule. We have been, populating everyone's commission schedule. So if you see 0 under IUL, that just simply means that you're a little later in the list of us populating your information. And so I can assure you, at the time you'd go through the process of the sale, that will trigger you to jump the line and get those commission rates populated. But that's where you can see if it's already set up in there. I'm going to pause for a second, see a couple of questions we got. I will definitely show you how to present your illustration if you just share the screen that I'm going to show you in a moment. And so that'll answer a few questions. Marketing materials, I'll certainly show you that. Good, important question from Nikia. Will the IUL be a part of the self-service feature on the agent sites? No. So that is a big difference with this product. This is an agent-driven sale because it's more involved, it's more sophisticated, and it's something that we are researching. Is it something that agents would like to be able to offer to their clients self-serve? But at the start, right now, it's not something that you can just send your link and someone does. And as an agent, as the person who understands, or who's the expert, not just understands, but the expert on this product, you will actually find your clients are quite relieved that you are driving and they're not in a position where they could accidentally do something that they don't intend to do. All right. And so I've talked a lot about what we have, what we offer, what we do, but I got to tell you about what it is that we want to do for you. Grady said that Deshaun Mike has a problem. He's a bit of a problem, and it's giving away leads. Well, I want to have the problem too. So for every activation that you have right now in Q4, we're going to send you $150 in leads. So it won't be lead credit, it will be leads the following week after you activate that policy. And I want to give away all the leads. I want to be the first person to say, we had to give away too many leads. I want to say that. So please know that we want to add momentum to what you're doing. We want to push your snowball that's rolling down the hill even faster. So the more that you can gain momentum in getting Ethos IUL policies activated, the more that we'll be able to, give you more leads to keep it going. The first 100 writing agents, and I think we have just passed that mark, or we're very close to that mark. We might not have passed it. So if I were you, I would consider writing a policy today. We were excited, and you might have seen on the socials that we were slinging these bad boys. We were giving iPads to the first 100 writing agents, and there might be a few left. I am excited to see us tagged in your socials about an iPad that you got. If you already have one, then you can be early on your holiday shopping. It's something that I'm sure a loved one would like, but we've got leads, we had iPads, and then I saw some of those Hall of Fame producers that had staggering numbers that literally are protecting more families than whole agencies that I know of and whole organizations that I know of. I am sure that they're going to be in the running for this bad boy. This isn't exactly the vehicle we're going with. It's going to be a sports car, but the top 50 FFL agents, and that's based on the persistency requirements I'll show on the next slide, they will be entered into a sweepstakes for literally a car. And I'd love if you can just give me a ring so I can take a couple pictures next to it.
That would be fun.
Yeah, there's going to be a sports car of our choosing. We haven't, well, actually probably will ask you which car you think would be most appreciated, but we are excited for the top 50 agents. And math, 1 out of 52%, that's a pretty solid.
What's the time parameter? Is that from
that's also in Q4, so that's also through the rest of the year.
3 months.
Yep, it's get after
3 months. We're giving away lead credits, iPads, and a new car.
New car.
You guys are crazy.
We want to hit the scene. We've been working on this for so long. We were so excited. I was like, marketing team, what can we do? Finance team, what can we do? Underwriting team, what can we do?
All right.
And they're like, Marty, you can't, there's only so much we can do. I'm like, well, let's do some more. And so that's why I'm excited to just get the word out. As I said in the link that I dropped in earlier, the specifics, all of these slides are in that link, ethoslife.events/FFL IUL recordings. And that's where you can see these specific persistency requirements later when that time comes. So I'm going to pause for a second and take a look at a couple questions. You can adjust premium down the road. Yes, all post-issuance servicing is actually done with the Meritas directly. And this is a product where actually you, the agent, are the agent of record, which is a little different than the Ethos Holland term where we're actually the agent of record. And so that will be a relationship with the Meritas in terms of just customer support. Is this designed well for infinite banking? We really think of the express, lighter touch IULs as the where in your sales motion or where in your toolkit you'll probably be replacing. If it's a really, high net worth individual or really complicated product in retirement solutions or annuities or NLG type space, then we have some offerings to consider, but our sweet spot is really going to be the quick and easy and express.
Replacing the express type products.
Type product. Yes. Exactly.
So
exactly.
IUL express type products.
Type products. Yes.
Higher compensation, faster approval, better rates for your client, and a new car.
And what the flow looks like is gonna be.
So now we're gonna see the app. So you don't have to log in one place and then quote another place and then go some other place to sell the app, and then another place will send a carrier pigeon with a box. You gotta put a 3-digit PIN code in that you get from another place.
And if you want to overfund it,
it's all in one place, Marty.
And if you want to overfund it, the carrier pigeon has to give you a DocuSign so that you can sign that separate. Your client can sign that separately. We're like, no, Grady, What do you think? You like that, or you like one-stop shop? And you told us one-stop shop, so hopefully that's what you want, because that's what we built for
number
you.
one product in America for
That's
clients
what we're.
and for agents. So if
That's exactly what we're working on. So here's a quick glimpse. I've seen some questions about how to like dive in and what it looks like. Smart Solve, as we call it, is that's probably gonna be your happy place for maybe 85-90% of your customers, maybe even more, where it's just a really simple, straightforward approach. You can see on the left, and it's seamless. We're trying to make it as sleek and easy. And it's not just because design is important and it looks nice. When you think about design as not just a nice to have, but an integral part of the efficacy, the effectiveness of the product, that's when you see how important design is. And so what I mean by that is, in some examples or in some uses, we have all of the things you need in one place. And so you can see here, Smart Solve is showing you the riders, it's showing you the index options, what this illustration looks like, what's the demographic info you put in at the top, rather than have to click in and click out. But in other places, such as the interview where you're getting the biographical information from your client, we actually want to focus your client's attention on one thing and one thing only, so we can move them along as quickly as possible, rather than them feeling overwhelmed because there's a lot of things. So earlier the question was asked, what's the deal with sharing your screen and showing illustrations? You can imagine that this process I just showed you is exactly what you're going to want to have on a screen share, so that your clients are able to see this product as an extension of your professionalism and the tools that you bring during that sales process. So let me show you what quoting and applying looks like, and then I will make sure that we're wrapped up by the top of the hour. So if you go to agents.ethoslife.com, you log in, you're going to go over to Quoter. And when you go over to the Quoter, this is what you'll see. And the IUL option is what we're going to click. And this is where you can start and immediately jump into that IUL flow. Jorge, I see California is a question that's going to be on the road. Unfortunately, I don't have an immediate ETA, but we're headquartered here, so we obviously want to get it off the ground as quickly as possible. And then one question about controlled business. You can, Tiffany, have a controlled policy with IUL, but we don't pay the controlled policies 9 months advance like we do the others. And that's pretty common. Right. So once you click on that quoter, you'll see the Ethos IUL quote at the top of the screen. You can put in the information that you want. What's very important, and I know we want a lot of enthusiasm around this product, but I also don't want you disappointing your clients or unfortunately feeling frustrated because you're just like, I just don't get who I'm going to get through this process. If you click on the Ethos IUL knockout impairment, or if you go to the website I keep mentioning with the /FFL IUL recordings, it'll take you to this document right here, Underwriting Knockout Guide. I recommend that you just take a brief look at the knockout guide so that you can feel comfortable and that you can know things such as, if you have more than 4 in the past year applications for other carriers, that unfortunately you're going to get knocked out. So the more you can just quickly ingrain, okay, what is this going to be the best fit for which clients will this be the best fit, the better you can get your pass through of applications through to activations. So again, that's just going to be inside the quote. It's going to be this link right here, and you can open it up, or you can go to the Google Drive folder that I had. But that's probably the single most important thing you'll want to do to just feel comfortable with, for whom will this fit, and for whom will the other products, the term, the whole life products that we offer, probably be a little better. With that being said, let's look at what this actually looks like.
Marty, before you continue, just that that's incredibly helpful. And I will tell you that, there's nothing more frustrating as an agent and, as a client to be like, oh, we got this, we're moving, we're rocking and rolling. And then, this is part of good financial inventory, but you find out they're too heavy or they're too tall. Or I had a lady that was too skinny one time, and you're like, how's that even? She's too small, sir. She's just too small. But what I'm trying to say is, though, guys, see, like, that document should be saved on your desktop. It should be saved in your iPhone drive. It should be you should have it, and then you should review it. And then you're almost kind of going through it with the client. Now they're still going to do an MIB check. They're still going to do a driver's record check. And if they're lying to you, right, and they just saw an oncologist and they've got 6 DUIs, well, these aren't things that we can look over, and the client is, doing what clients do, is trying to whatever. But what I'm trying to get at is this is one of the best things that carriers put out, and not all of them do. Our favorite carrier with an A on it, they have done a very good job about providing things like this over the years to make it very simple for us as agents to almost, and I would say this too, Marty, if you could add a second option, which would be prescriptions, an Ethos prescription guide. And there might be one somewhere out there, but if you had a prescription guide specifically for the Ethos IUL, agents then, because we don't all know what all these different medications are, rovastatin and torvastatin, carbidopa, and like all these different unique medications. You're like, I don't know what this stuff is, right? But and knowing that if you had the knockout guide, perfect, and then perfect, you seem good. What medications you take? I take this, this, and this. Let me check. Okay, should apply. We should know what that is, but they should cross-reference each other. And then those two assets give agents so much confidence, because other carriers don't provide stuff like that. And it's just like, you got to call a manager who might be selling their own policy to try to find out if this stuff goes through. So, and you might show me the prescription guide now, but just to commercial it, guys, having that knockout guide on your desktop is crucial for just ease, right? There's no you don't have to worry, because then you can go look up any of the things they've had going on and find out what that timeline period is. Oh, they've had something, and we can see what it was 2 years ago. They're at 3 years. I'll call you back in 11 months and 15 days, Mary, and we'll get prepared to submit the application, right? So stuff like that. So, but thank you for doing this.
That is real. That is real. And this is not something that we take credit. We just thought of. It's literally, we just talk to agents. We just talk to leaders. We just talk to managers, and we get feedback like what Grady just shared. And we make the things that can help you do the things that you do to protect families. And so it might be something I just zoomed by, but in the knockout guide, you'll see where things are highlighted. If you click them, they'll open up new documents. Like if you click on this field underwriting guide, it opens a full-on 20-something page document of all the details, but specifically on red flag medications, you just click right here and it will actually take you to a document that has the list. So you don't have to remember. You can just Command F. When they say I take abalabadubadoo, you can just type it in. You can see exactly what that is. So that's something that we've also made just for you. But if you save this on your desktop, or if you save this as a favorite, just the Google Drive link, you can click on that, have that open as well. Command F or Windows F, and you'll be good to go.
Huge. Thank you, Marty.
Sure thing. All right.
You got that knocked out quick.
Hey, it's the knockout guide. So I see what you did there. Here's the Smart Solve, which is going to be based on either if your client's looking for premium or if they're looking for coverage focus. So if you see right here, this Smart Solve button, that's going to be your happy place for most of your clients, which is just all you're doing is focusing on, well, how much can they afford to pay each month, or how much as the end goal are they trying to make available in their death benefit. And then if you want to, or if you think that it is a situation where your client would be better protected with more information being added, then you simply go over to the Advanced Solve button, and that's where you get these 3 additional configurations. So that's where you have the ability to focus on what's the cash value that we can accrue and accumulate. So how can we grow that, which is maximize cash value. The opposite is, let's say they're less focused on the cash value and more interested in the death benefit, then you go to maximize protection. And then similar to maximizing cash value, but not quite the same, is maximizing income possible in retirement. So that's going to just take into account the particularities of having a drawdown start at the retirement age. But with any of those, you're going to get all that information I showed you before. You can see the biographical information that they put in at the top. You can put in all of the information that they have for the budget that they're looking for. And then if you click over here on this little icon to the right, or download illustration, that's where you can see the ledger values of what in time you can expect from both guaranteed and non-guaranteed values. So you'll be able to see exactly what the future can be modeled, can be illustrated to look like. Or you can click on download illustration and you can get all of the information. So you can get this full on illustration guide, but sometimes that's overwhelming for clients. They're like, this is like 18 pages. Like, what's going on? So we make this short and simple 5-page document. It's colorful, it's easy to read, so that your clients are able to also have a document presented or provided for them that's got just the highlights, customized with their information, so it's nice and easy to see. And so this Smart Solve does come with riders. A few I mentioned earlier, like accelerated death benefits. The Ethos Perks rider, I'll just translate what that is. That's our estate planning tools, our suite of tools for, end of life, wills, trust, power of attorney, advanced healthcare directive, things like that. And that's available with all the IULs except for South Dakota and Washington. They're just a little particular. And this defaults to the S&P 500 one-year account. And you'll also be able to see in your portals, if you click on more, you can see the illustrated rate, you can see the floor, you can see the caps, you can see all of those things there. And they do get updated over time. So just make sure to take a glimpse at that so that you're staying abreast of any changes that might have come to fruition. I see a few specific questions coming in the Q&A. If you I would just invite you to take a look at the knockout guide. And if you still have questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll be happy to help you out. It's just marty@getethos.com. But for the more specific questions, I would myself have to take a look at the knockout guide. And I think that it's also a good exercise to just get really comfortable as those clients appear to you, what's going to be the best fit for them. Now, so once it's time to share that quote, you just click share quote to client, or you can jump right into the application. And then this is what your clients are going to see on the other end once they receive it. It also has, as you see, their contact information at the bottom. So it has your email or phone number. So you're able to, have another impression with your client so they can see. I see one question about what did I mean by the one-year account? That just means the return of the index is measured at a 1-year point versus the other account is a 2-year point. So it's just a simple accounting specific of for how long, what point to point, when are we going to look at how much this return has generated for us to credit your account. Once it's sent over, you can jump through the application process. You just simply review the details and you can send the application. And then there are 4, it's kind of like, let's see, what was the name of that movie that won the Oscar? Everywhere, Everything, All at Once. So here are the 4 parallel universe Martys of the 4 underwriting outcomes that we can have. The first is instant approval, no changes. I see confetti, so something great's happening. And so that's one outcome, and that's the outcome, obviously, that we want the most of. The second outcome, once something goes to underwriting, is also instant approval, but with changes. Maybe your client wants to slightly lower their death amount or their death benefit. That's not a problem. So you make the adjustments, you update it, and then you can accept and continue. The third is we do have to reroute your client to True Stage because we couldn't cover them. But as you see, we don't say it's over, the sale ended, that sucks. We say we've got something else great for you. And remember, this is not only a product that's great for your client, it also pays 30 points more than it used to. So it can be a great way to compensate you for your hard work. And then finally, there's the rarest, which is it goes to manual underwriting. And we do what we can to try and keep you informed and your client informed of just what to expect in that process. And in any events where manual underwriting takes place, it's important that you just keep your clients responsive so they can give us information as quickly as possible, and we can get them a result as quickly as possible. Last section, some client resources that we make for you. I showed you this already, which is the policy highlights document, but I saw earlier question was, do we have offerings for client marketing? And the answer is yes. So here are some brochures that we have. We try and compare them to things clients might be familiar with, annuities, CDs, IRAs, other things. So you can just, broach that conversation more naturally. And then we've got a ton of agent resources inside your portal. Just go to resources, then IUL, and then you'll be good to go. Yes, I certainly can drop in my email address. I just did. And I also can answer Marissa's question or Carla's question that ITIN holders at the moment cannot. These are for Social Security numbers only for now. And so the only real question I have is who's ready to get started with a product that allows you to focus on selling, not software, truly instant, great comp headed your way, $1 million max coverage, free riders, and the strength of Emeritus to rest on. I love that. I love the love in the chat. Love in the chat is going to have me just cheesing all day. So this is what I'd love for you to do. I'd love for you to go to your portal, go into the quoter tab, create a quote, and have that knockout guide up so you can just get familiar with what types of things you can filter through so you can get your clients what they want. And that, my friends, is all that I have. And that is no cap. No cap. No cap.
That's awesome, Marty. Thank you so much. So that was, I mean, exactly what we needed, right? To see how do we get in, how do we do it, comparisons to other Express-like products in the industry, and to see the simplicity and the work that was put in. I mean, you can see a quote tool with one company, you can see a completely robust quote tool with you guys. And this is do what's best for your clients. But I mean, this is Ethos. This is in our bid to say, this has been designed with FFL, for FFL, and by Ethos, who's the leader in sort of the digital virtual way where you can do one call closes and sell IULs. And with that growing amount of people, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be looking into this. And if you haven't yet started selling your first IUL, jump into the resources that Ethos has provided and put yourself in a position. I mean, you should sell yourself one. That's a great option. Go in there and get yourself one. Get yourself contracted. Go start your first quotes and make sure you're moving and progressing. But you can play around with the quote tool before you write the app, and that's really where I love the text message feature. I'm thinking of old clients when they were kind of, these tough guys that didn't want to move forward to something. I don't want to pay that for that. I'll just save the money. Well, hey, John, I've been a minute. Wanted to reach out about a great policy that I've, recently gotten access to. You can, you talked about saving. You say you're saving that's $500 a month into your mattress. Take a look at what this product does over the next 10, 15, 20 years. And that you now have additional tools where you can be sending out quotes to people that you've been working with that make you look really good. And so it's always a treat to have you on, but to get to learn more about what Ethos is doing to continue to pioneer the digital and virtual way at which we all sell insurance. And, I would pass it back to you for any final thoughts, any quick success tips you've seen agents that are kind of getting things done more efficiently. I know there's, we're green, so we're still in contracting phase. We're still getting a lot of this. We're getting awareness, and now we're talking about it more, which is only going to bring more awareness and more talking. And then we're going to start getting sales, and we're start getting some commission checks, and everyone's gonna be like, "Hey, why are you not selling the Ethos IUL?" And that's where we're going to be at in the next. Well, hopefully by the end of December, because someone's winning that car.
Someone's winning it. Someone's pushing the whip. Yes, and they unfortunately, if you're in California, you can't take my license plate, which is dream chasing. Can't take this one, but. Just one quick note. We've had a few agents to say it's just a complete game changer. They're able to fill their calendar with twice as many IUL appointments because it's the easiest thing they've ever used. So I would simply say, Marco, they're going to be, if you want to edit those, by all means, you can adapt materials for you. Maybe you can edit it in Canva and have your name on it. Go for it. We make marketing materials for you. But in general, it's a game changer, Grady, is what I'd say. The few agents that have already gotten off the ground immediately, it's just been a game changer for how quick and easy it is. And the more people get comfortable with it, I think it's really just going to be hard to think about what it was like before you had that, when you were trying to sell a quick IUL.
It's awesome. Marty, appreciate you guys. Dig into it, get familiar with it, get comfortable with it, use it, and drop a M for Marty if you are going to sell one in the next 7 days.
Ooh, yes.
Everybody on here, at least quotes one by next Wednesday, or heck, let's say by Friday. Well,
I love it.
We'll go by next Wednesday. I like give a little bit of time.
Yeah, give a little bit of time. Give a little bit of time.
Give you a rolling calendar. Drop an M in the comments if you're going to dig into ethos. You're
Rand, Texas is good. Yes, Texas is live. I just saw some questions
Texas
about
live in front of a client now, Dr. Damaris Barnett.
Sell it right now. Well, thanks again for having you right now.
Let me get out of your way.
Client.
All right, go say hi to the client, and but appreciate you guys, and thank you, Marty, as always. More fun, and we'll have you. When are you guys coming on the nudie soon? What next are we, guys?
I will be flying in for the conference, and
that's right.
It's like less than 2 weeks, so I'll see you soon.
Marty will be live in Arizona at our conference. Can't wait to have him up there, sharing all the updates that he's got that are going to happen in the next 2 weeks and success stories. And with that, guys, we'll let you get back to your day. Thank you, Marty, as always, and thank you everyone for joining. It's amazing business. Great to be a part of it, and proud to be partnered with you all. Talk soon.
Thank you so much. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of your week.